The following podcast contains movie spoilers and mature content, including graphic descriptions of violence. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Opening Kill, the podcast that dives deep into the chilling world of horror films. Every Thursday, we explore a different movie, from cult classics to modern masterpieces, uncovering behind-the-scenes secrets, analyzing themes, and sharing fun facts about your favorite horror films. Join us as we chat with filmmakers and fellow horror film fans to celebrate the fear in cinema. And now, the hosts of Opening Kill, Michael Doran and Brian O'Connor.
Welcome to Opening Kill episode 30. I am Brian O'Connor. I am very happy to welcome back the co-creator and co-host of Opening Kill, Michael Doran.
How do I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
I know. You've got to put the training wheels back on for you.
Hold on. Let me see if I know how to talk into a mic again. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm back.
Good. It's nice to have you back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We have researcher Shay, who will be joining us a little bit later here to talk about this week's episode, Alien Romulus. In space, no one can save the kids, which is basically what's happening.
That's true. It's like the Goonies, but with acid blood. Oh, man.
We're going to be floating into the vacuum of deep space with Alien Romulus, the latest entry in the Alien franchise. And it's just it's a great throwback survival horror story that brings the face huggers right back into our nightmares.
Let me tell you what, face huggers, they scare the shit out of me.
As they should.
Dude, just the idea of that.
I know.
Like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to be deep-throated by anything.
No,
let alone an alien.
That looks like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Man, good God. Well, I saw an interesting movie recently. It's called The Legend of Hollow Lake.
Okay.
You seen this?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Bunch of group of friends. They rent cabin in the woods.
Oh boy!
But it's not really a cabin. It's actually a nice house.
It's a fancy Airbnb.
It's kind of a fancier Airbnb,
nice.
And they get
Classy.
there. Yeah, and they start to discover these trail cams that are on the property, and they're watching them, and it's got this this very cool Wendigo-inspired mythology going on in it.
Okay.
And very enjoyable. 3.5 stars for me. I could see it being on Opening Kill sometime. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. I thought it was creepy and thought it was very interesting, and there were some cool effects in it. So, yeah, the Legend of Hollow Lake, which sounds like an ultra-low-budget movie that you wouldn't want to see. I'm not crazy about the title, but it ended
aren't
up
all
being
lakes hollow, technically?
Technically.
Yeah.
Except they have water in them.
True.
Yeah, okay.
Does hollow mean empty?
Sure.
I thought it just, I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Yeah,
I'm not a lake scientist, whatever those are called. Aquaologist.
Waterologist?
Yeah.
Jeez.
God, the old aquaologist.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I like Wendigos.
Yeah.
I think those are cool.
Yeah, it was cool how they kind of rolled that into the story.
Hannah doesn't like when I even say the name.
Oh, really?
Apparently, you're not supposed to say it. Otherwise, it'll summon it. And so naturally, I like to say it whenever I'm around her.
Right.
I'll just be walking down the street, Wendigo.
Yep.
And she's like, stop. You don't know what you're playing with. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I do. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten us yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It might be just waiting. I saw some stuff. I saw... finally,
you should have.
Yeah,
2 weeks of
I know.
vacation
I had some
from
time. I watched the 28 Days, and I also did watch Weeks Later. Didn't get around to Years yet, but hopefully I will. And they're good. I think they are the definition of a 3-star movie, at least from me. I think they're fine. Lots of moments that are enjoyable. But overall, I was kind of a little let down just because of how much I've heard people rant and rave about how amazing these movies are.
Right.
So I think I was a little bit let down, but I still had a lot of enjoyment. I love Cillian Murphy, so he was great to see. And then I like Rose Byrne, and she's in the 28 Weeks. So they were fine.
Okay.
Totally fine. I did also see the new Final Destination, and I enjoyed that one a lot. It's definitely one of the best Final Destinations.
Finally, a movie you and Shay can agree on.
I know.
We'll get her take on it.
Dude, that movie,
soon.
I don't see if she agrees. It felt like anti-penny propaganda.
We're going to talk about Sinners, too.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a 5-star. That's one of my new favorite movies.
Yeah, that's why we're going to talk about it.
I know.
I'm going to be the tiebreaker vote on that, and I haven't.
Dude.
I'm going to see it when it comes out for free.
I know she already hates that I liked Daybreakers, but now Sinners is my new favorite vampire movie. So
how far did Daybreakers #2 then?
Yeah, it didn't fall far. It's just 1 and 2. It's the old 1-2 punch.
Perfect.
What do you got to say about that?
Oh, well, I have this to say about something completely different.
Okay.
Director Damien Rugna is working on a movie called Felix. This is a vampire film inspired by The Lost Boys and Fright Night.
Ooh.
No release date and not very many details, but I think this is going to be really good. I expect great things from this film. Again, it's called Felix, so we shall see.
Is Felix the name of the vampire?
I would assume.
That's an interesting vampire name.
Yes.
Don't let Felix suck you off. He'll
get more than you bargained for.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Golly. My little news. Just Weapons, the movie I'm looking forward to, has a new trailer that they dropped like a week ago. And this is from director Zach Krager. He originally did a lot of comedy stuff, but he did recently do Barbarian, which I thought was a fantastic
it's a good movie.
Yeah. So I think this one's going to be hopefully on par with that. The first thing I ever saw from him, though, was this movie called Miss March. Did you ever see that?
I don't think so.
So it's about this guy who's dating this girl. He falls down the stairs when he's about to lose his virginity to her, and he wakes up like 8 years later, and she's a centerfold in Playboy.
Nice.
And so it's his hunt to track her down. So much diarrhea in that movie. It's insane. But that was my introduction to him. So when I watched Barbarian, I was like, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Nice.
Switching it up.
Yeah, definitely switching it up. Oh, boy. Well, okay. Well, we're going to get into this now. Alien Romulus, and an incredible movie, I think.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the original Alien movie when I was way too young. The second one actually scared me more than the first one.
Want to know something that's a hot take?
What's that?
Aliens is the worst in the franchise.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. We're going to bring Shay Astor, our researcher and special effects makeup, and yeah. She's waving her arms. I'm laughing at her. Shay, hello.
What did you just say, Michael?
Aliens
oh my God.
is by far the worst Alien franchise movie. And I swear to God, if I hear any disrespect to Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Because those movies do not deserve the hate they get. They're actually fantastic.
I don't think they do either, but I'm thinking
Resurrection is so much fun.
Aliens is so much fun.
No, see, Aliens tries to be fun. Resurrection is fun.
Uh-huh.
And I think a big part of why I don't like Aliens is, what's that fucker's name? Bill Pullman or Paxton? Bill Paxton?
Game over, man.
Yeah, his role fucking pissed me off.
I'll grant you that. That was not my favorite part of it, but it's still, I thought, is stronger.
He's supposed to piss you off. That's the point.
Yeah, but I don't want to be pissed off.
Oh my God.
Good God.
I would be hitting you ferociously if I was there in person right now.
Well, good thing you're not.
Yeah.
No.
You're several hundred miles away, and that's probably
safe.
good.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Oh my gosh. All right. Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez, written by Mr. Alvarez and Rodo Sayagues. Released August 16th of last year. They filmed this in Budapest, Hungary, between March and July of 2023. They got $75 million to make it. It made $351 million internationally. Tagline, "The terror begins again."
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. It made
It was all
I didn't
practical
expect him
sets.
That's kind of why I was surprised. Because this movie, it looks so good. Oh my God.
And we'll talk about that because they did use a lot of practical effects. The only thing that they did major CGI on, and that got some pushback was on Rook because
Yeah.
they used Ian Holmes' likeness.
I
and
do
brought him
want to,
back.
when that part comes up,
Yeah.
I have a question for both of you. So,
Sure.
when that part rolls around, I'll bust
Right.
that question out. But I don't mind that
Yeah.
CG. I thought it looks fine.
I did too. Apparently, and again, we'll talk about this more. When it was released theatrically, they had run out of time to complete the effects, and so when it was getting ready to be released to streaming and Blu-ray, they went back. And
It looks better.
He convinced the studio to let him spend more money to fix that.
Yeah.
So
That was one thing I noticed because this is my second time watching it. I watched it originally in theaters and then at home this time, and noticeably better.
Right.
From what I
Same,
remembered.
yeah.
yeah. So the year is 2142, and a Wayland Yutani probe recovers a large cocoon from the wreckage of the Nostromo. Months later, at Jackson Star Colony on the dark planet of LV-410, we meet our friends.
Dude, this fucking planet sucks.
So it does suck. There's no sunlight.
No.
And this mining operation is actually a real-life power plant that they filmed this at,
Okay.
which is incredible.
Just like a shitty life though, because like we learn that I guess our main character Rain, she I guess finished up her work like service that she has to do. So on this planet you're like assigned the amount of years you have to work before you can do anything.
Right.
And then she gets informed that, oh no, just kidding, we're tacking on another like 5 years or some shit.
It's like thinking you're going to get out of prison, literally.
Dude, yeah.
And then they pull the carpet out from underneath you and go, oh no, just kidding.
Yeah.
Or more realistically, just real life where they've raised the retirement age.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking, it's all a scam.
Yeah.
We're being played,
that's-
So
Brian.
this one,
This
one takes place.
That is what they
like,
did, though, because they said, well, we've raised the number of hours you have to work. So sorry.
Yeah, for the betterment of the community.
Yeah.
Blow me.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This one takes place 20 years after the first movie, Alien, and in theory, like 37 years before Aliens, right?
Yeah, it's in between those. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that was so impressive too, and we actually get to see the worlds that they are living on. I loved that part.
Well, I like that in the beginning, that cocoon, that's the alien from Alien that they pick up in space, which is pretty cool. That's fun.
Yeah. So we also meet Rain's brother, so to speak,
Andy.
who is an artificial life form. He is not human.
I loved Andy. I wanted to raise him. I did. I'm like, he melted my heart in ways I didn't know was possible.
Okay.
Don't you have a kid, Michael?
He's got two little ones. Yeah.
Well, but this was like a teenager. So like I wasn't expecting to feel that maternal instinct.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll get there.
Paternal. Yeah, I think it's paternal.
Mandy is played by David Johnson.
God, he's good in this movie.
Rain is played by Kaylee Spaney.
Yep.
And they're both incredible. I do feel sorry for Andy because people tend to pick on him and
They do.
They kick him around, and he's not treated very nicely in parts of this movie.
Well, yeah, it's like a lot of them are prejudiced towards little robot guys.
Right.
So that's not a metaphor for anything going on in the real world, right?
No,
No, definitely not.
So she wants to get the hell out of this world.
Yeah.
Now that she found out she just has 6 more years of hard labor in the mines.
Yeah,
that she
it's
has to
not like
do.
it's good labor either. It's the
No.
mines.
The mines are killing people on this planet. So she teams up with Andy and also
Bjorn.
her ex-boyfriend Tyler, his pregnant sister Kay, their cousin Bjorn, and Bjorn's adopted sister Navarro, and they commandeer this ship, and they want to reach Renaissance, which is a seemingly abandoned station in orbit.
Yeah, and it's just floating right above
Yeah.
them.
And it's split up into 2 different modules, Romulus and Remus. And
Which is a Greek myth.
It is a Greek myth.
And then doesn't like a human nurse on the wolf?
Yeah, so it's the she-wolf that raises Romulus and Remus, and then they fight over the new land that they've found, which turns out to be Rome,
Nice.
and gets named after one of the brothers. Can you guess which one? And they do end up like killing each other, kind of
It's very Cain and
biblical
Abel.
of sorts.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
But it's such a great idea for a ship having two different sides.
That's
I
fun.
love that.
I do like that.
Right.
And there's lots of little Easter eggs of that story within the ship that if you see, like you'll see them every once in a while.
Yeah. So they get aboard this craft. They're going up to the station because they want to steal some cryostasis equipment,
Right.
Which is what they need because
Yes.
they want to go to this planet, and it's going to take them 9 years to get there. So they need this cryo equipment in order to make the trip. And it is Ivaga 3, which is a planet that is unaffiliated with the corporation that is running the planet they're on and making them do all the work. And,
Is it Weyland Utani?
It is.
That fucking company causes nothing but trouble.
Always.
Literally the worst.
Yep.
That CEO needs to be taken out because that man is murdering people. God.
Bjorn is taunting Andy.
Yeah, Bjorn sucks.
This is so they get up to the station and they dock with it, and then Bjorn is taunting him, telling him that Ivaga 3 does not allow androids, which his sister Rain didn't have the heart to tell him, so he cannot go to the planet with them. And he reacts sadly, but he understands.
But he's got that rational brain where he's like, well, I mean, you know, I can't just go there, so I guess it's fine.
And if it's good for Rain, then it's good. Because that's his job, is to protect her. And that's the programming that their father wrote into his
That was his
processing.
real
Yep.
purpose, is to protect Rain. So
Right.
he would complete that mission. So yeah, he's fine with it.
So they go in, they find the cryostasis chambers, but unfortunately, they don't have enough fuel to go the 9 years they need them to go. So now we have to go deeper into the station and now find the fuel for these cryo tubes.
Yep. So they have to go to the special room that has all the fuel and shit, which is not going to be easy, I'm guessing.
Nope, because they get it, they find the room.
They sure do.
And then what happens? They fuck around and trigger a lockdown. And now the door slides shut behind them. Alarms are going off, and they are now trapped in there. It's
Right. And it's a room that has a lot of face huggers that are like frozen, but they're starting to melt.
and they don't see them at first.
No,
No.
because they're not paying attention.
So in this room, we have the three boys. We have Andy, we have Bjorn, and Tyler is in there. And so these face huggers are like chasing them around, and it's crazy. And then we have Rain, as well as Navarro. They are there, and they're seeing this, and they're trying to figure out what they can do to help. So they stumble across another partial android.
Right, because there's a lot of acid damage on this ship, and that's what kind of dissolved the rest of this guy's body. But it's an android with a very familiar face. And it's a Rook, which is what's his face from the original, the android from the original. Ian Holm, who's Bilbo Baggins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Great performance there.
Yeah. And there was a lot of controversy with this.
Right.
Even though they had his family and his estate's blessing to bring him back.
So that's gonna be my question for you, because I'm like, do you understand the issue with that? I don't. I'm like, as long as the family signs off, who cares? I don't think it's
agree.
a big deal.
And there were a lot of critics that were very vocal about this is just immoral, this is that. And I'm thinking, explain that to me, because if the family, if it's their wish,
right?
And I mean, might be kind of cool to see him on screen again.
Right?
Who knows how the family's thinking? But the point is, the family had permission to do this.
Yeah. So like that was kind of my I in a way I see what they're saying, but at the same time I'm like, well, his family kind of outrules your opinion on it. So like it should
totally
be fine.
agree.
But yeah, it was definitely controversial, and I didn't really see the big hullabaloo.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Shay?
Well, I do think we've seen other examples of this where the people are still alive and they're made to look younger. The top idea I can think of is Kurt Russell in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, where they made him look younger. for like the flashback scenes, and everyone was fine with that.
Yeah, I guess because he's dead, they're thinking this is wrong. But to me,
correct. There is a problem with the internet. People have been making deep fakes of people that are dead, making them look alive again. And I think everyone was so on board with creating hate about something. But the fact that they did get permission, I think the problem is that wasn't like really well known to the audience that they had permission to do this until later. It's almost like we needed a statement, which sucks. We shouldn't need to, but they did to make the hate go away.
I don't think
because the hate train just kept going.
I don't think a studio would do this without the permission of the estate or the family. I don't think legally, I don't know if they could do it.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know the legality of it, but as far as any moral issues, I mean,
correct.
I don't think
they needed permission and they got it. So that should be it. But of course, the internet is an angry place sometimes.
Very true.
And people have been making like, really terrible content with pictures of dead people.
Right.
And like, unfortunately, it's very realistic.
Yeah. And like, that's the problem. Like, that's wrong. Like,
agreed.
So like, I do see like there is a area where this is completely wrong, but I don't think this is that.
I think my favorite,
this is a well-budget movie.
Yeah.
My favorite instance of bringing somebody back, I thought it worked really well, was in Ghostbusters Afterlife when they brought back Harold Ramis as one of the Ghostbusters. His ghost comes back. And it was very touching, and it was a very powerful scene. I mean, it was like, holy crap, look at this.
My favorite instance is from Star Wars Rogue One. They did it with Tarkin, and then they also did it at the end with Leia.
Yeah.
And I like it. A lot of people are like, it doesn't look real. I'm like, it looks real.
It looks real.
Like, I don't, again, I'm like, it's fine. I don't care.
It's
I'd rather have that. I'd rather have that than someone who doesn't look like that playing that role.
Yep.
Example, Han Solo, that Solo movie, I'm like, that's not him.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather they just de-aged Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Personally. But that's my 2 cents.
Yep. So the three guys are trapped in this room, and they've been relying on Andy as an android to be able to get around the circuitry of these doors and open it. But now it's in lockdown. He can't do it. So, as I said, Rain and Navarro stumble upon the station's scientific android who was cut in half. He's deactivated. And so she gets the idea to take his programming chip out and put it into Andy to give him clearance to open the door. And that's what they do.
Yeah, and it works.
It works.
But it does change Andy.
Changes him.
Because Andy used to, like, originally he's very, like, innocent, just like a sweet little baby boy. And now he's kind of more, like, meticulous and a little bit colder.
And he's a lot more loyal to the company than he is to Rain and everybody else.
So now his number one priority isn't protecting Rain.
No, it's Weyland-Yutani.
It's Weyland-Yutani, yep. As if they needed anyone else to help him.
Yep. So he's able to get them out of the door now. And
but that is a good acting thing I want to touch. Like his shift of oh god, he's so good in this movie.
Because
this is like one of his first things. He hasn't done a lot.
No, and you're right, because he, as Andy, he's this very awkward, almost special needs.
Yeah, a little autistic coded.
And now all of a sudden he's the most confident motherfucker on the station. I mean, he's like, hey, here's what we're doing now,
dude.
Yep.
As they get out of the room and are about to escape from all of the facehuggers that are now alive, unfortunately, one slips through the door and attacks Navarro in the face and is unfortunately deep-throating her meticulously on the floor.
Oof.
Can you imagine?
So that's when...
Fuck, dude. It's like, that's my claustrophobia could never. I would die of a heart attack before I got impregnated. I'll tell you that much.
They're trying to pull the thing off her face, but it's wrapped its tail around her neck and is like strangling her pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So Rain gets the idea to reactivate the half droid. They don't even know his name at this point, but we know it as soon as we see his face.
Yeah,
but they reactivate him going, exactly, Bilbo Baggins, please help
Save us. Where's that ring of yours?
Come on, Bilbo. You can do it.
If anyone
So as he awakens, he kind of explains a little bit of what's going on in the ship and exactly what's happening to their friend laying on the floor with this creature that's attached. They unfortunately Rook just kind of says, "Well, she's dead. Get over it." And we kind of see the coldness that, gosh, we remember from Alien One, come through. However, Rain has the great idea to kind of freeze its tail with some of the lovely power that they just grabbed from the building.
I did like that.
I loved that
because I'm like,
idea.
oh, because it's never, no one's ever figured out how to get the face hugger off,
Right.
But I kind of like that there's a way.
There is a
I
way.
enjoy it. I like that.
However, damage done.
Right, you got to do it quicker than that.
Yeah, you can't give it a chance.
That alien already blew its load in her.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much.
God, it's so gross. I hate.
Well, just yeah.
The alien, like face huggers.
Yep.
They
are
devious
nasty.
little shits.
They are nasty. Well, yeah, it's too late, and she's kind of confused about what's going on. So they get her back to the ship.
And they also, along their journeys, found this cool little device that kind of like shows what's inside
it's an
your
X-ray
body.
machine, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like a tiny little handheld thing. So yeah, I'm sure.
I hated that.
Yep.
It was so like, oh, here's this very handy device that's going to show up and then disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, continue.
If it gives us one cool scene, time well spent.
Yeah.
That's all that. Yeah.
So Andy does say, hey, we can't bring her back on the ship because he also now knows what's going on because he's got the chip in his head. And unfortunately, Navarro and her partner kind of realize, oh, they're gonna kill her. So they run back to the ship, trying to get away from everyone that's saying, hold on, let's not do anything rash.
Yeah.
And also Andy is like full on chasing them down these hallways.
I get it though. Like, honestly, I would not do well in a survival situation. I'd start turning immediately.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, yeah, kill her. Get her off the ship.
Well, that's what should be done because this always happens. You know, you get into more trouble by going against the grain here.
Yeah.
And
Do we want an alien or not?
Yeah.
I don't want one.
Pretty simple answer. Yeah. Sorry about your luck, but
Sucks to be you.
Yep.
But I still have a life to live.
Yeah. So Navarro and Kay get back to the command module of their ship.
Right.
And all of a sudden, bad things start happening to poor Navarro.
Navarro starts puking. She grabs that cool little device and boom, she shows it on her little chest and we see the little baby.
Little baby. And then unfortunately, we get this.
The opening kill.
And we had to wait a while, but it's been pretty good up to this point. 51 minutes and 21 seconds in, we have our opening kill.
Damn.
And it is Navarro, and she is the victim of a famous alien chest burst.
All done practically too. Isn't that impressive?
Yeah.
It looked great. I loved it. I think, God, chestbursters are so cool.
They really are. They are. I give it, obviously, it's a butcher knife.
Yeah, like even though I've seen this death many times before, it's always cool.
Yeah, it's always very cool.
And this one probably looks the best maybe I've ever seen. It looks fantastic. So yeah, it gets a butcher knife from me as well.
And I love, of course, the blood spatter on Kay. As
It's
it's
all over her
fantastic.
face. She's screaming.
Yep.
How traumatic too, because Kay is the one that's like pregnant and realizing, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do this.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
forgot to mention that. Yeah, Kay's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's expecting. She's
Not
got a
with-
deadbeat dad.
Yeah, but not with an alien baby.
no,
This
no,
is a human deadbeat
a human
baby.
did it the old-fashioned way.
That's right.
A man
Strap
laid with
her
her
now.
biblically.
Butcher knife for you or butter knife, Shay?
Oh, it's always gonna be a butcher knife. I love anything. Chest bursting. Oh, it's so incredible. And the fact that they did it all, no CG, no nothing. They had this great this second skin that they created on the fake body at that point. That made it look so realistic. And I don't think we get to see that too much on some of our past ones. Maybe in a little bit of Prometheus. But really not that much because that was all CGI, which is why I don't love
Prometheus.
those movies.
Yeah, I'm trying. And it was a little bit different too with Prometheus and Coven. They were a little slightly not quite real alien. Yeah, and I loved the little the chestburster looked great. And he kind of escapes and does what little chestbursters do, start to grow.
What happens is this little guy,
Yeah.
this cute little
It
guy,
is cute.
causes so much commotion that they bump into the controls of the
Yeah.
shuttlecraft, and now it's like swinging out of control here, and it bumps into all kinds of parts of the station. And
yeah, when you're docked to another ship, you don't want to start moseying around,
pushing buttons,
don't
and
do that.
pulling levers and things like that. Nothing ever good.
It's dangerous.
Will come from that. So the little guy, he escapes and all that good stuff.
Bjorn also, we kind of learn why he's such an asshole, and I don't think it's a good reason, if I'm being real.
Oh yeah,
because so why he hates androids is because his mom was in the mines. Something happened where she got like sick, and the android made a call to where like, well, we can't let her out because she's gonna like ruin life for everyone else. So they locked her in, and they made that tough call. And Bjorn just can't get over that. So
now,
I don't think that's a good enough reason to be a prejudiced little douche nozzle.
Now, when the ship is no longer docked and it's just flying around and hitting, it actually crashes into the hangar, and it accelerates the station's collision with the planetary rings.
Right.
Because they already said that it was like 36 hours and it was going to crash into the planet's rings because that's where its orbit is. And now it's like minutes. It's like 45 minutes or something until they crash. So this whole thing has accelerated that whole timeline. And little guy is growing up pretty fast.
As they do.
Yep.
It's so quick. It's so quick.
Absolutely.
And he makes a fun little vagina cocoon.
Yep.
Very vaginal.
Well, yeah, but then Bjorn decides to penetrate the little vaginal cocoon.
Yeah, he walks up to it and just...
Because he's got a stun baton.
He does.
And this is a dumb move.
Well, Bjorn's dumb, so...
Very much so. So he jabs it in there, and he's screaming and he's shocking it, and the thing's making noise. And I guess Bjorn just doesn't realize its blood is made of acid, and so he gets sprayed, and he gets sprayed, and
he gets squirted on.
He gets squirted on, and he is death number 2.
Yeah, because
that's that.
It melts his.
Oh darn!
face.
Anyway.
Yep.
Well,
bye, Bjorn.
Yeah, he'll be missed by no one. Anyway, move on.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Time to go now. So Kay escapes from the ship and into Romulus. And the creature, who's not such a little guy anymore, is chasing after her. And Rain and Tyler attempt to rescue her, but
Andy, they have to make their way to the hangar.
Yep.
Because it's quite I don't know exactly how far away, but it's a pretty good distance. They have to maneuver through the ship to find this place now.
So practical Andy is now convinced that that she's being used as bait.
Right. And they also, so in order to get there, have to go through this little hallway, which is just crawling with face huggers.
Right.
And then Andy has his little brain work wonders and is like, oh, well, if we raise the temperature, they won't be able to sense you. So I guess that's how they hunt.
I guess.
Which was fine because I thought this scene was tense as hell.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it. They're just, creeping through all these little face huggers. And it's great.
So they won't let Kay into the same room with him. They get to this room and there's a door, there's a barrier, and Andy refuses to let her in. And so she's standing there screaming. And then Rain looks up and there's the creature, the xenomorph, who's he's now an adult xenomorph.
Full grown boy.
Yep. And at first when I first saw this, I thought she was dead because the king comes down on her head and jerks her up into the air. And it's like, well, there's that one. But no, he just, wants to kidnap her and take her away.
Yep.
And put her in a little cocoon. And so that's kind of what happens.
Gonna save her for later.
Yep.
So smart.
That's the perfect specimen, as has been said many times.
And we can't forget about Rook, because Rook is still active and still, has influence
Talking
over
shit,
Andy.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, he pops up on little random screens around the Hi, me again. Guess what? Stop doing what you're doing.
Which is clever. I thought that was great.
I like it.
Because
I had
he
no problem
has
with it.
no, from his torso down, there's nothing because he was split in half.
Yeah.
So he can't get around.
No, so he just pops on screens.
Yeah, exactly.
He
And
does lead them over to the scientific side of the lovely ship that's divided into two. One was holding the lovely face huggers, and one has all of the different science stuff,
Right.
all the cool labs,
Mm-hmm.
where we get to learn about the black goo, which might look familiar if you have seen the Prometheus movies, which
Mm-hmm.
is why
Yep.
it all ties together here.
Right. Yep.
And we also learn what they're doing. They're like using the alien to kind of bring shit back from the dead. And there's a great little scene where you see this video of this mouse who's dead. They inject it with that stuff, and it comes back to life. And this is a great. They use stop motion for it, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So they use all the so many different kinds of effects in this movie: practical, a little bit of digital, and then they even use stop motion, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. They really wanted to recreate the look and feel of
And
the
they
first
did.
one. They did. I thought it was a very good throwback to that time, that movie. So Rook tells Andy to go get the Z01. That's the stuff, the fluid, and it's harvested from the face huggers, and it has the ability to quickly rewrite DNA and adapt DNA. And he wants it taken to Jackson's Star, or he's not going to release their ship.
Right.
So
now they
they're
work
kinda
for
trapped.
him.
Yeah, now they work for him. One corporation to an android corporation. And so Rain and Tyler, they get armed. They got these really cool rifles, and Andy warns them against injuring the creature.
Because the old acid blood. That is such a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, God, that would suck. Because
Yeah.
you can't shoot them.
Funny enough, they talk about that in Aliens more than anything, of you can't shoot the nest because it will literally stop them from gravity gone, air gone. We already know those rules from Aliens.
Yeah.
More than even Alien 1, honestly.
Right.
And that's where this movie kind of turns into the Aliens scene where they're going through the hallway, seeing all the different nests, whether they're empty or full of bodies. And unfortunately, they do run into Tyler's sister, Kay, who is in one of the cocoons, but she is still alive. We do like that.
Which was surprising
Yeah. I thought she'd be dead.
because I thought she was
I think
dead.
it was another trap, honestly.
Yeah. This little xenomorph sets a lot of traps. I like it. He's kind of like a raptor in Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
Yeah,
too.
I like this one. This one was one of my favorite xenomorphs.
So you've got a ton of these face huggers and xenomorphs attacking them now, and Tyler.
Yeah, because now there's like 30 of them or something.
Yeah, they're all over. And Tyler actually sacrifices himself to protect Rain.
He does.
And he's ripped apart, and that's the end of him. And so, yeah, not good. Kill number 4.
Yeah.
They did get Kay out, however, which is good, and sent her up the elevator to get back to the original ship to get out of there. So Kay is still alive and still with child.
I take that back. Kill number 3. I got ahead of myself here.
Well, we'll get to 4 soon.
We will get to 4 pretty soon because it's not too far behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so in order to get all these little aliens shot, they have this great idea to turn the gravity off.
Yeah.
So when they shoot the alien, the blood just kind of floats.
And doesn't touch
Doesn't
the
touch
hole.
the surface. Yeah,
Right.
which is going to fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So this scene is so cool. She's just floating around, shooting all these alien, dodging all their acid blood. This scene looks so cool. It's so much fun. I loved it so much.
This gave me anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Well, because,
Oh,
you're
agreed.
Yeah.
swimming, just trying to dodge all this acid shit and while shooting these aliens. This was such a well done choreographed
Oh, yeah.
scene that I
Totally
loved it.
agree.
Yeah, she ends up getting to the elevator and is kind of like making her way up when this one alien
It's the Navarro xenomorph.
gets a hold of her. And then this is where Andy does something kind of cool. He because still doesn't have any gravity, right? And so then, he sends this elevator down, which kills the alien, kind of like squishing it. And I just thought that was fun.
We see Kay back in the original ship that they arrived in. However, she starts going into labor because she's been injured and takes some of the black goo that we know as Z01 now. She injects herself with some, like a dummy.
Yeah.
And it does help her with her injuries. However, it kind of does change her already. We see a little bit. But at first, it kind of hides everything. So they get back into the cryopods that they have with the new energy that's gonna get them to safety, and everything seems okay.
Right. But it's not. Because
No, it never is.
no. See, because Kay she successfully gets put in the pod and sealed up. She's gonna be good to go till they reach their destination. But then, as Rain, as Rain was getting ready to go into her pod, she sees like, oh, shit's going amok in there. Opens it up and boom, she's fucking like 9 months pregnant and ready to burst. And she gives birth to a gross little cocoon, kind of.
It was a weird looking thing.
When she ripped the umbilical cord herself.
Oh my God, I know.
It was like that Sydney Sweeney movie where she like bites through the umbilical cord, but without.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty great. She does it. I think it was called like
the
Immaculate.
egg grossed me out.
I didn't like the egg, if I'm being real.
I didn't like the egg.
I'm like, I'd have preferred she just gave birth to like a mutant instead of the egg. But no, she gives
As
birth
a woman, it really grossed me out. I did not like it.
That's fair. I didn't. Ugh, yeah. So yeah, gives birth to this egg, and I do like that Kay has the wherewithal to be like, that's probably not a good situation. Go ahead and get rid of my kid.
Right.
And like, and so yeah, Rain tries. She runs it over, like runs it to like some other part of the ship, and like she just like throws it. I think
The acid starts to come through, so
that's
she has
what
to
it
drop
is.
it.
Yeah. So she starts like, ooh, burning. So tosses it to the side, and then she goes back to like check on Kay because she thinks that's probably good enough. As if they didn't learn anything in this goddamn movie.
Nope.
But what are you gonna do? So when she does go back to find this little baby, she finds the empty little egg, and there's a full-grown, giant-ass man hybrid thingy majogger.
This was one of the weirdest looking things.
Dude, this
ever.
whole scene took me for a loop. When I first watched this in theater, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because you see this, and I do like that this is practical.
Yeah.
It's played by this, like, what's his name? Robert Bob Rockcuxigi.
If that wasn't a butchering at all. But
No, that's spot on.
7'7" man.
Yeah, he's a basketball player, actually. But yeah, 7'7", that is so goddamn tall. But his body kind of does just look like that. It's kind of crazy. So that, it's a lot of just like practical effects on him, a little bit of CG with because he does have a tail.
Yeah.
But this is my only issue with the movie is how this offspring looks. I think it should have looked a little more alien, specifically in the face.
It was a little too human.
And
that's
too
what
much,
made it just weird and not scary.
Yeah, a lot of people and I think we are in the minority there because a lot of people are like, no, that's what made it so scary. But I'm like, even if it was
get
like
into the rules of Uncanny Valley, which I understand.
Totally.
But I feel like this is what ties it into like the Prometheus look
totally.
of the guys.
It looks a little bit like an engineer.
However, I don't enjoy it in any way. Not only like it's supposed to do it, but also just as a viewer, I was like, nah, I don't want to see any more of this guy. I'm good.
I just wish like even if they would have simply given him like the elongated skull, I think that would have been enough for me maybe. But yeah, it just didn't quite do it for me. It was creepy.
Agreed.
It was creepy, but
I wanted a little more.
Yeah. And the one thing I will say about the ending sequence here, and I think I told you after when I saw this in the theater, we talked about this movie. This was last summer, and it just seemed like it was a movie that just didn't know when to end. It just kept going, and then all of a sudden you thought it was over, and then nope, we're gonna go again. Oh, nope, we're gonna go again. It was like it started to get a little irritating for me, even though it was a good movie. I'm like, come on, let's get to the end, and instead of all of these false endings. And
so I kind of liked that. Again, like my only issue is the look of it. But I loved that what this ending kind of brought to the possibilities of these movies going forward with this like little offspring thing. I thought it was hella cool. And this whole little battle, like I fucked with it. I liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like oh shit, we're still in this.
So before the humongous battle happens between Rain and this alien baby that's definitely a 7'7" man, unfortunately, the baby does come back to visit his mother, Kay.
It's not a
and
good meeting either.
No, her death is very quick, of sorts, but there's no time to mourn her because we move on right on to the big battle between Rain and the alien hybrid human thing that was terrifying to look at.
No penis on it though. That was
Thank
weird.
God. I don't want to see any penis, Michael. I'm good.
How funny would it be? Like a little xenomorph penis on it?
He got a
What
tail.
if, like, you know how like the mouth, the second mouth that comes out? What if that was his penis?
Well, maybe.
Yeah, it just didn't shoot out.
Right.
You know what? That's gonna be my official lore on this alien creature thing.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
You
for that.
betcha. No problem. Have fun visualizing that.
Appreciate it.
So after all of that fun, Rain records an audio log, and then she and Andy enter cryostasis, hoping to reach Shivaga 3 alive, and that's where it ends. And no official word on another one of these movies, although the director did say he's going to take his time and make a decision. I mean, there were a lot of years between the first and the second Alien movies, so they can take as much time as they want.
I want more though. I want them all. Like this one got me so like jazzed for the franchise again. I'm like, feed me all these movies.
Yeah. Well,
We could get more into the lore of how they got into cloning, or like for resurrection. There could be a movie that's about in between 3 and 4 next. I
Totally.
could so see
Right.
that happening.
I would not mind like a little bridge between Alien Coven and Alien, because I loved that character of David. I thought he was fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
So we got more of him. I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah.
We don't need to. There was enough of a resolution in that where it's fine if we don't, but I would not mind more of him.
Yeah. So if we count the Offspring, final kill count is 6. I mean, there's other bodies along the way, but these are the kills that we got to have fun with and see. Final girl power ranking, I give Rain 9 out of 10.
Okay.
She survived. Yeah.
She did, and she survived everything that was thrown at her. You look at everything she went through during this entire movie, and there's a lot of final girls who basically, cakewalk through their movie. She didn't.
She did try to she did make a lot of dumb choices though, because she was always the one being like, no, we have to save these people.
Yeah.
When Andy's just like, no, we don't. So I think that's fine. I give her probably more of like a 7.
Okay. Shay?
She's good, but yeah.
I'll be the middle. I will say 8, because unfortunately she does get the easy route of getting to go into cryo sleep at the end. How lucky for her. I think she should be alive for the 9 years they have to take to fly to the new island.
How good does a 9-year nap sound?
It's pretty damn
so
good.
good. Oh
Pretty
my God.
That's too easy.
Most brutal kill, I would have to say, Kay's hybrid birth, maybe.
I mean, she does have to give birth and then
Then
dies.
die. I mean, that was pretty rude.
Icky.
It was icky.
And
Yeah.
she had to rip an umbilical cord. I'm going to go with Navarro just because, that's your fucking chest getting ripped open.
True.
Like, that shit sucks.
I mean, chest bursts, those are great ones.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great ones.
Honestly, I'm going to say Tyler, because he got a great shot of he sacrificed himself to save the rest.
Mhm.
And we got a great look at the alien at that point. We got the double mouth. We got the tail. We got everything.
He gets
but
it
he
in the
also did
face,
it-
right? The double mouth?
he did.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was cool.
And I loved it.
That was good, yeah.
So your slasher survival tip for the week: if it's sealed shut on a derelict ship, there's a reason. Stop. Leave it alone. Go no farther.
Yeah, don't pop that Pringles can. Leave it sealed.
Leave it sealed. I give it 5 stars. This was a pretty good movie.
I think I gave it 4, maybe 4.5.
Okay.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I gave it 4.5 as well.
Okay.
What was your favorite scene?
Boy,
Mine's the acid hallway.
It was the acid
gunfight.
hallway. Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to pick a favorite scene, I think that would be it. Shay?
Mine was the birth of the face huggers all melting and coming into the water.
Ooh,
That was good.
That was a good scene.
That was good.
That was a good scene.
There's a lot of great scenes in this.
Yeah. There definitely are. So, yeah, definitely watch this. This was a very nice installment, unlike Halloween Ends to that franchise. This was totally the opposite and much, much better, in my opinion. Coming up, we have your scare preview. But first, I want to give a shout out to another podcast that we love, and we are very good friends with Courtney at Jaunty Haunts. She created a podcast all about the supernatural, and she hosts it. She is a self-proclaimed seer who, after 30 years of keeping this a secret, she finally is telling her story and her secret with the world that she sees ghosts.
In every single episode, she's going to dive into really eerie encounters. She's got some true tales of the seen and the unseen. She even has a lot of incredible guests on the show that are sharing their own stories.
Yeah, definitely. So whether you are a skeptic or a believer, you will find something to love. You can listen to Jaunty Haunts wherever you get your podcasts. It's one you don't want to miss. All right, scare preview time, and mine is a movie that is not going to be out yet. You got to wait a little bit for it. This is a spinoff of Megan.
Okay.
And this is going to be out in January of next year. It is called Soulmate, SOULM, the number 8, TE. Not a lot of info from it yet, but it is from the world of Megan. This AI thriller explores romantic obsession, control, and synthetic soulmates. Looks
I
pretty
don't
creepy.
like this picture that you have for this movie at all.
It looks pretty creepy. Again, release date for this movie, January 2nd of 2026.
Okay. Mine is Strange Harvest. This one's coming out August 8th, and it's directed by Stuart Ortiz, who did Grave Encounters. But this one looks cool. So the little blurb on it is detectives are thrust into a chilling hunt for Mr. Shiny, a sadistic serial killer from the past whose return marks the beginning of a new wave of grotesque, otherworldly crimes tied to a dark cosmic force. But this one is told through like the lens of a true crime documentary. Yeah, it's the setup of it and the storytelling aspect, I think, is really unique. So that's what's got me pretty excited about it.
Was this based on a book?
Well, not that I know of.
Okay. Just seems like, I don't know why, but yeah, I thought maybe it was.
Well,
but
Dark Harvest, which I originally said was going to be like, I
maybe
fucked it up.
that's-
That was based off a book.
maybe that's where I'm at then.
Yeah, it was a good book. I like Dark Harvest.
Okay, very cool. Strange Harvest comes out in August. So that is a wrap on Alien Romulus, a brutal return to the cold, dark void of deep space horror. We got chestbursters, face huggers, and all kinds of fun stuff in that. So
Yeah, xenomorph hybrid babies.
yeah,
Had
I
it
know,
all.
right? Definitely. Make sure you check out our socials at openingkillpod. Subscribe and like us, and message us if you have a film suggestion.
Yep.
And you can do that at
openingkillpod@gmail.com.
next week. We are diving into the deep blue sea with Jaws. This was the movie that started the summer blockbuster, gave birth to the summer blockbuster, and made an entire generation afraid to go into the water.
Sure did. My dad told me stories of how, like, I couldn't swim after that.
Oh, man. A lot of people. Special thank you to Shay Astor, our researcher extraordinaire, for hanging out the last 3 weeks. It's been fun.
Oh, it's been so much fun. I'm kind of sad I will be missing Jaws, but we still got to do our Lost Boys movie. We still have the rest of the season to do. I'll be back. Don't you worry.
Yeah, after your little vacation across the pond that we don't get to go on with you.
It's fucking bullshit.
Come to Spain with me. It's
Spain.
fine. There's room.
All right, whatever. Thank you, Shay.
Love you guys.
Love you too. We will talk to you next week for Jaws.
The Opening Kill podcast is hosted by Michael Duran and Brian O'Connor. It's produced by Mystic Cloud Productions. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram too. Join us next Thursday for a brand new episode.